Hi everybody and welcome to the Dawn Jarvis Show, where our goal is to inspire you by interviewing a diverse range of visionary leaders and entrepreneurs and sharing their entrepreneurial journey. Today we have a very special guest, my coach Camilita Nuttall. Camilita is known as the world's #1 rockstar international speaker. She's an influencer and founder and CEO of Event of Champions and a multi-millionaire property investor, business and wealth coach. She's a 7-time award-winning sales and growth expert, entrepreneur, author, and editor-in-chief of Global Champions magazine and radio show at the Camilita podcast. She works with top CEOs who earn 6, 7, 8, and 9-figure sums to increase their wealth and profit, expand their business, launch or relaunch their brands, big ideas, and create workable systems through strategic planning. She has built sales teams of thousands in over 330 countries and did in excess of $20 million in sales. She's been featured in Forbes and in Think and Grow Rich, and appeared on many programs and the media. Her dedication to leading by example, constantly evolving and succeeding by raising others up, has led to a global network of global champions. Camilita, it's fantastic to see you. How are you?
Oh, Dawn, thank you for that introduction. You know, I'm listening to you and I'm listening to the introduction and I'm tired, like I've done a lot.
But you've done so much, haven't you? You've done so much. It's very, very impressive. And we're going to be talking about mindset and how you've created your multi-million pound business and how that, having that money mindset has led you to achieve such success in so many areas. But first of all, I want to ask you about your journey and about how you've got to where you are today.
Oh, Dawn, the journey started off in the Caribbean, in Trinidad. If you've ever been to the Caribbean, you know it's all beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
It is. Struggling through school at the age of 13, my father said to my mother, "We no longer have money. You're not going to attend secondary school." So my mother said, "We will find a way." And so my mother and I, at the age of 13, Dawn, went on the public dump, dug through rubbish to get glass bottles to sell just so I could attend secondary school. Because my mother would always say, you need education, do something with your life. Look at my friend, she's doing this. Or look at this one, they have that. At least do that so at least you don't have to be where you are. Because I'm the last in 11 children. And we grew up really poor. And all I saw around me was poverty, but I also saw bits of people that with money. And I was like, well, why do they have money? Like, what do I need to do to be like them? So I really studied hard in school and then decided to come to England to finish my law degree. That's a whole other story. Slept on people's sofas, you name it, trying to go to school, eating cornflakes for dinner every day. But I just really wanted more to what I knew and to what everybody else was experiencing. And so I really pushed through every obstacle, whether it was homelessness or whether it was lack of money or just having conflicts at dinner or just begging for money to go to school. I just did whatever I could to be where I am now.
That's a story of remarkable resilience. And I've been having conversations with people from the Caribbean this week. And I didn't know that you were one of 11 and my dad was one of 9.
Wow.
And I've been talking with people about, how determined people had to be to leave the Caribbean for something. And that sort of mindset of achieving against all odds and coming to a place where you didn't know where you were going to sleep necessarily, or where you were going to work, or how it was going to be, and that the determination and resilience that a whole I want to say empire, but that's the wrong word. No, but it's a community of people from the Caribbean that came to this country, or went to America, and to have that entrepreneurial spirit, even regardless of whether you built a business, which you have or not, but actually to sort of I'm not sure, I know where I'm going, I'm not sure what's going to happen when I get there, but I know I'm going to make it work, because there's almost no choice. And I feel that has been passed down in, if you decide a goal, it's got to work, because there's no choice really, you have to make it work. So I really like that story. And I suppose I want to know, so how did you decide that you were going to be a business owner, and that was your story? Because you studied law, but you didn't practice, and you became a business owner. How did that work?
Well, I tell you, Dawn, I did not tell my mother. How can I tell my mother she worked so hard? And then tell my mother, Mommy, I left law school.
Yeah.
I'm now starting in direct sales of all places. But I remember looking at my mother going up the hill in the latrine. The Jamaicans call it the outhouse. If you see that, you know, those people that are poor and they have an outhouse where they go. That's what my mother, so I'm in England trying to finish law school, and my mother going up the hill to go to an outhouse. And I'm like, I need to do something else. So I looked at my lecturers, and they weren't making the kind of money I wanted to make. And I'm like, there must be something else to this. So I heard about the industry of direct sales, corporate sales, and I thought, right, I can sell.
You can.
I can do that. I can do that. But I really wanted to do it, Dawn, because I wanted to help my mother. I really wanted to get something that was bigger, better, faster to help my mother. And so I heard about this corporate sales, direct sales, and I thought, I don't want to do law anymore. Like, I'm gonna forget that, and I'm gonna focus on building a business and building a brand. And I tell you, the lessons that you learn in building a business is even more priceless than the money that you earn. I'm gonna say that again, the lessons that you learn in building a business is even more priceless than the money that you earn. So the lessons that I learned are all about tenacity and about, you know, keeping going, but sort of always remembering where I've come from, always remembering why I'm doing what I'm doing. It wasn't for money. Initially, it was to help my mother. Then it was to get into financial freedom. Then it's always to help the other person, because money is a byproduct of you giving value. So once you have that in perspective, even when it gets hard, you tend to still keep pushing and you still keep going. So for me, leaving law school wasn't a major, because I knew why I was doing it. I didn't want to be like my lecturers. And I also wanted to have more so I can give more. Whether it's through teaching or training, whether it's through giving back to my mother, I just wanted to have more so I can give more. And sort of being in that realm said, you have to change. But as I said, the biggest lesson for me was what you learn in becoming an entrepreneur, how you change more than the bank balance. Literally, people equate it's just about the money. For me, it's about how you develop more than the money.
I like that. And it's interesting. So, you know, my parents came from Jamaica, your parents, you know, you come from Trinidad and Tobago, and there is a sort of running theme of poverty that people have come from. And there's also potentially a scarcity mindset, isn't there? So I'd love you to talk to us about, you know, how you change your mindset about money, because you must have had to do that. And I know you talk about value and valuing yourself and, you know, knowing your worth. But, you know, that is quite a shift from looking in the rubbish dump to being a multi-millionaire property investor. So let's talk about the mindset of how you got to it.
Don't want to tell you. My biggest challenge was to believe in me. I tell you the truth. Not making more money, like I could make more money. My biggest challenge was believing in me, looking at the fact that I'm a woman, I'm Black, I'm from the Caribbean. My English isn't like Dawn's English. You know, this is true. I looked internally, like why should you succeed? You know, and I internalized it. And that little voice was always in the back of my head. Who do you think you are to do this? Who do you think you are to do that? And I had to stamp out that voice every single day by action. You know, I was talking to my team recently, and action dispels fear. Action dispels the noise. The more you get into action doing what you're doing, the more the noise stops. Like the noise, you hear the noise, but it's sort of fading in the distance. But that was one of the biggest challenges, because all of my family live in Trinidad. I'm the only one that's doing what I'm doing. And another thing, Dawn, that was a really big challenge for me. You know, most of us have a fear of success or failure. Mine was success. It was never failure, because I would do anything. It was on why it was success, because I thought, when I become rich, when I become successful, how will I look in front of my family? Are they going to judge me and I wouldn't be able to talk to them and feel like I'm better than them? You know, I think that was a hard part for me as well. I had to realize that I am me and that I am different and I am the one doing the work and I am the one deserve the success. because I'm the one putting in the work, and not be afraid of what they would think because they're not doing what I'm doing. So that was another big challenge. How I dealt with those two mentally, Dawn, I read every single day. I read like 5 books a month. Literally, I listened to motivational stuff every single day. I aligned myself with winners, thinkers, believers, and I got rid of losers, mourners, whiners, and complainers because I knew I needed to be around that whole system in order for me to change more than anything else. You know, for things to change, I must change, you must change. So in order to do that, I had to keep empowering the mind. And it was, all the craziness was going on up here. It wasn't about the work ethic. Like anybody could work. Everybody has 24 hours in a day. Everybody could work if they want to work. The difference between the winners and the losers, the winners believe. And the winners don't just believe by talk, they believe by action. So whatever I believed in my head or what someone said to me, the good, I acted upon that belief. And the more I acted upon that belief is the more I believe. And then I realized that I am different. I am not like my family. They don't have the drive and determination like me. And I just need to get on. And I tell you, that doing that, done all every single, not every week, not every month, every day, changed my mindset.
I really love that, actually. And it's so there's a few things coming up for me there. There is the unacknowledged, and I think you're the first person who said it out loud, that being successful, coming from a Caribbean background, has some impact on people from the Caribbean and how they perceive you. I know this is true. I have experienced it. You're the first person who said it out loud. And if I had time, I'd do a doctorate on that particular thing. So, because it is everything, isn't it? So, you know, it is everything. How you relate to people, sending money, you know, and their perception of you as as a rich person, and relatively that is true. And then there's also this thing about, so do I feel guilty about that? Do I feel guilty about how hard I have worked?
Yes.
And one of the things I think is that, and this is definitely true for you, is you're an outlier. You're not normal. You've done something different to a run-of-the-mill, and I think it's okay to accept that, and to, when you're having those thoughts and when you're thinking those things, to remember that there are always outliers, and there are always people that do different things, and there are always people that with the same circumstances will choose a different path, and that's okay. And I think to acknowledge that and accept that is part of the thing around mindset, around money. Would you agree, Camilita?
Absolutely. You got to acknowledge it. You've got to acknowledge that you're different. You've got to acknowledge that the other people haven't done the work. You have. You got to acknowledge that you can't go down to their level. They need to come up to yours because you worked to go up. You shouldn't be going down to meet them where they are. They need to come up to where you are. And it's difficult because we have, especially as women, you know, we want to save everybody, we want to help everybody, we want to treat everybody right, we want to feed everybody, you know, that's how we are. I have learned to say no. I have learned to say N-O, no. Okay, I've learned that my life is different because of choice. Their life is different because of choice. And we all have a choice. And my mother would always say, we all have a choice. We all have a choice. There's a scripture that says, choose life. It means whatever life means to you, choose something better, choose something different. And I think a lot of us, especially from the Caribbean, or especially women, we feel guilty. I don't anymore. I'm sorry, I'm gonna buy whatever I want to buy because I work 16 hours a day when you go on the beach.
Trust me, that's true. That's very true. And there are some decisions to be made and some choices to be made, aren't there, around that? And I guess your path it will be determined by those decisions and those choices that you've made. So I really like that, Camilita, and thank you so much for that. And that was quite resonated with me a lot as well. Now, you've written a few books, and some of the books' titles are some of those things we're going to talk about today. So we were going to talk about also how to fast track your success, which is also a title of one of your books. So I suppose it would be good to talk about sort of like, you know, I'm going to write a book about how to fast track your success, because you've had success and you've shared it with people, and sort of like what process, sort of like what model, what journey do you go through to fast track your success?
Well, I tell you what, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna read from the ebook so you can get it. Okay, I'm just gonna read from the book so you have it. And if you want it, go to Camilita Shop. and you can get the ebook there as well. On my website, you get a couple of chapters free. These are the things in which I have done. So when people ask me, how did you do what you did so fast? You know, there's a quote that says it takes 12 years to become an overnight success. We all know that. Nobody saw the last 12 years. Yeah. Nobody saw the nights when you lie on your bed, when you lie on your sofa asking, what the heck am I doing? And you're crying. Nobody saw that. But when you launch, everybody's like, wow, you know, this is what you did. This is what that I did. And so I'm going to just read the bullet points to fast track your success. Focus only on income generating work. Everybody busy being broke. Your job is to focus on what generates the most money, least amount of time, least amount of effort, most amount of profit. Learn the difference between a customer plan and a business plan, because it's all about the customer. Utilize my most important tip for massive growth and success, and it's ask. And that could do a whole day seminar just to ask. Find ways to constantly sell. Go from the top down, get to level 5. I mean, the list, there's so much in here. And my favorite one is if it's not making money, it's not making sense. Because I see so many people, they're busy being broke, they're pretending that they're doing the business. I say to them, make up your mind. Is it full-time, part-time, not sometime? Because if you do it sometime, you'll get sometime money. So in order to fast track your success, you've got to guard every single thing you do. Guard your time more than anything else. Like I will give away money. Okay, don't ask me for the money, but I will give away money. I will not give you my time. Because with time, I can make more money. So you've got to guard your mind, guard your time, focus on what generates the most money, least amount of time, least amount of effort, most amount of profit. You've got to make sure that you are going to the top down, go to the experts, all the things in which the people that get there quicker. If you want to fast track your success, that's what you've got to do. And you know what? You've got to do it every single day.
I totally agree. And you know, that is, you know, we've had those discussions, haven't we, really, about, you know, scheduling your time, being very focused on what you want to achieve. That it's not necessarily going to happen overnight, you know. And I think the 12-year thing it's true, isn't it? It takes a long time. I would say to encourage people that, you know, you could be in year 6 or year 10 of your overnight success. So, you know, don't be disheartened by that. But it's definitely about having goals, isn't it? And talking about goals, I wanted to talk about your book, How to Launch a Big Idea, because that is sort of the genesis of, you know, where you will go to fast track your success, because I guess you have to look at your idea really and look at, you know, what skills and things that you have that can make that happen. Tell us a little bit about that.
I just want to reiterate this one as well. Some people say it takes 25 years to be an overnight success. Some people say 12. I say it takes a lifetime. Let me talk about launching your big idea. Every single one of us has got something in us that we want to bring to the world. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a socks. Okay, it literally could be a new hair care product. It could be, you know, a pattern, an NFT, you know, whatever it is. We all have things that we want to bring to the world to enrich the world. In the process, we become enriched with it. Okay, but then a lot of people like stuck. Well, what do I do? Well, how do I bring this to the world? How do I make this? So my couple of tips I'm going to give you here in how to launch a big idea, and you can find the book again on Camilita Shop, is what I have done to launch multi-million-dollar MLM businesses in the past. It's what I did to launch my property business. It's what I did to launch Event of Champions, to launch the Camilita. The launches are almost exactly the same. Your job is to stick to it, follow it to the letter. So I'll give you a couple of things, what you can do to launch a big idea. Number one, what do you need to have in place? You need to make a list. Don't just think it's going to happen. Make a list what you need to have in place. If you're doing it offline, online, cross-line. Where are your contracts? Where are the trademarks? Where are the legal? You got to protect your own backside. I say, okay? Also, you got to plan the divorce before the wedding. You got to know what you got to know. So you make sure the contracts, the trademarks, the legal in place before you go and buy any domain name. Before you go and put it out there in a big, let me just talk about the domain. Make sure you got a domain. Don't just come put it, make sure you got a domain, please. Listen, you're going to launch this, make sure you got a domain or some sort of it. Okay? What do you need to learn, or who do you need to hire? Because you will need to either learn something or get somebody who can do it. How much is it going to cost? Where's the money going to come from? Is it going to come from friends, family, loan, bank of mom and dad? You need to decide. Again, comes back to the customer plan, versus business plan. You're going to write that down. Who is doing the marketing? Who is doing the branding? Who is doing the sales? Because remember, if it's not making money, it's not making sense. What is your big why? Why are you doing it? I mean, there's so many other things that are in there to launch. And then the day of the launch, what happens on the launch day? You need to build up to that day. What happens? Because remember, guys, this is not just some little thing that you're planning. This is your time. You cannot get back that time. This is your life. This is something that you are bringing to the world that will enrich the world. Every single company, especially from 2006 to now, you're looking at Airbnb, Lyft, 4G, all of these companies, 5G now, all of these companies didn't exist before 2006. They all had an idea, but they all had to launch. They all had a plan. They all had a date. You don't know where your idea will take you. It may look small now, but you don't know, but launch it well. Do it well and do it good one time.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That was, I do encourage people to buy the book and to, if they want to sample it, they can get 3 chapters free on your website, at the shop section of your website. However, it is, I have actually used this formula myself when I launched my own book, and, I'm going to be using it going forward as well. It is really important to get support as well, though, isn't it, Camilita?
It's crucially important. Guys, look, at the end of the day, we all know the African proverb, okay? You want to go where you want to go alone. You want to go longer, go with people. Go with your neighbor, go with your cousin, go with a coach, a mentor. There are people on this planet to help you. There are people who've gone before you. They know what to do, and more importantly, what not to do. So your job is to align yourself with winners, believers, thinkers, people who are going to take you where you need to be. You need support. Look, Dawn, just a few days ago, I called up my best friend, Alfred, and I said, Alfred, I'm feeling a bit down. I've got this going on, that going on, this going on, that going on, and I just need to talk to somebody. I need some clarity. And I was able to talk to him. I call him my only girlfriend. He laughs. I was able to talk to him and just share. I needed support. We all need support. Find somebody who is doing what you want to do and just ask for help. Do not be afraid. You need support. You need help. And ask. My acronym for ask is always seek knowledge. So find someone, ask.
Love that. I love that, actually. That's so fantastic and very true. No man is an island, and no man does it alone, do they? They do it with support, and whether you can look for support within your own networks, but also you can, as you said, find someone who's doing what you want to do. Right. Ask for mentorship, ask for coaching, pay for it if you need to, because it will pay dividends and actually make it quicker to get to your goal. And that's one of the things that I believe. So some people have, they've started their business, they've launched, it's going, it's tickety boo, but you're a great believer, and I totally agree with this too, and it's actually one of the things that drew me to you, that it's important to have multiple streams of income, and you've written a book about this too, and it's one of the themes of our podcast as well, is sort of like, some of the listeners here will be established business owners, and it is hard to get started. It is hard to sort of, but then you start and you're doing it, and that's cool. And then the next step is to sort of like have multiple streams of income, so you're not relying just on one. So talk to us about that, Camilita.
Like, Dawn, that for me is like, if there's the one thing I want to leave in this world before I leave, is that I want to encourage every single person to create multiple incomes. And I'll tell you why. And I'll give you an example what happened to me the day before yesterday. My mother fell years ago. And when she fell, nobody was around. I think my brother or somebody came after, and she had to wait on the floor, going up the hill, that same hill. And I couldn't go to Trinidad and look after her because I didn't have multiple incomes. I was working in my business rather than on the business. And I will never forget that time. And my sister called and she said, Mommy fell down, and nobody was there to help, and I couldn't go. And I said, Lord, this will never happen to me again. I'm going to do whatever it takes to be in a position to not have to depend on one income. Warren Buffett talks about whatever you do, take the time to build 2, 3, 4, 5 incomes. And it's not easy to do, let me tell you, but it's so rewarding in the end. You got to take the time off to do it. And that's why I'm so passionate now. I've got over 12 income streams. I'm so passionate now to do this. And I teach every single client. As soon as you start your business, the number one thing you want to do is create something where you can have residual income from. Number one. Number two, when you start earning money, put aside some of that money every month into an income generating asset. So that money, that brings in income as well, because you never know what can happen. I think the pandemic, if nothing else, has taught all of us we should have more than one income. Like so many people that I know who were speakers and coaches and trainers, they had to go and find a job that they didn't want to do because all they had was one thing. And they look at me and they say, Camilita, I wish I had done what you did. But I've been teaching you guys this for years. Why didn't you do something about it? So before I go and talk about 4 or 5 ways in which you can create multiple incomes. Now, I want to give you one last story.
Okay.
I saw, Dawn, my consultant surgeon. I had a major surgery a couple of years ago. And I saw my consultant surgeon 2 days ago. And just went for a checkup, and I just was talking to him about, you know, what is he doing now, and blah blah blah. While he did the surgery on me, okay, this guy saw everything. If you understand what I mean,
I do.
All right, this guy did the surgery on me, and while I came off, I was in the bed for 7 days while he was attending in a private hospital, of course. What do you do? I said, well, I do this and I do that, and I also invest in property. Because, you know, he said, I've always wanted to do that. People told me I should do it, but I didn't know what to do. I said, let me give you a crash course. This is on my bed with my tubes all over, in pain. See, the guy saw every part you can think of. And I'm telling him to invest in property. When I saw him 2 days ago, he said, I listened to you. I bought a big manor house. And I've got developed 7 flats. And I've got space to build 2 houses at the back. And I have residual income other than me being a surgeon. I said, he said, and all thanks to you. I felt so good because I thought somebody actually listened. Because even though he was a surgeon, he is making good money, one of the best in the country, but yet he listened and understood the power, because anything could happen, guys, in life, anything. And your little residual income may start from $10 a month, $50 a month, $100, pounds or euros a month. It will go up to 300, it will go up to 500, it will go up to 5,000, it'll go up to 10,000. And gradually, at the beginning, you think, oh, $5, $10 is not a lot of money. Your job is to be patient, because when the mess hits the fan, and it will, you will be glad for that extra residual income. So let me give you a couple of things to do to create multiple incomes. Find multiple ways, number one, of selling the exact same brand, product, or service you're selling right now. Find multiple ways, because there is somebody who wants to buy it at $100. There's someone who wants to buy it at $10,000. Okay, that's number one. Number two, create information products. Something that you could sell, a book, a program, anything you could sell other than what you're selling right now. Number three, start a month membership, a monthly program. Everybody save the whale, save everybody. Everybody paying into something every month. Why? Why? Because we all want to belong. Yeah. Start selling something, start a podcast, start selling, start charging for, start investing in property, convert your garage, rent that out. It doesn't matter. Just do it now, because there's going to come a time you wish you did it now.
For real. And, so it is so true, is that it's really, really important to have multiple streams of income. And as you said, even if it's £10 a month or $10 or $15 a month, it will add up. I've got a little story about my children. I've got 2 children, they're in their 20s now. And when they were born, I did a bond for them at £10 a month that they would have when they were 21, because somebody told me that they had got it. One of my nursing friends told me they'd got something from their grandma when they were 21. So I did that at £10 a month. And my daughter will be 21 in July, actually, and my son got his money already. And it was at times it was a sacrifice, depending on which part of my life I was in, because I've had times when I haven't had much money, but it was actually so gratifying to be able to give them that gift. And it was based on that. So my granddad gave me 21 driving lessons for my 21st birthday, and that's the reason I did it. They didn't spend it on 21 driving lessons, but that is up to them. But that was the idea behind it. And the thing around it is that I always tell the story that when I was 18, someone said to me, "Oh, save £25 a month," and that was quite a lot of money at that time for 10 years. And at the time when I was 18, I couldn't imagine being 28.
Mm.
I'm now nearly 55 years old. So, you know, time passes, and, you know, the time to start is now. And that's, I would share that, and to have different things. You know, you can have your profession, you can have, you know, well, all knowledge is great, but also to have different things and be able to use that. So I think the combination of those ideas of, you know, having the mindset, you know, having a big idea, then fast tracking to success, and also then thinking about how can you diversify and have multiple streams of income is all about what you are about, isn't it, Carmelita? Basically, would you agree?
It is because, and it's because of my own journey, guys. It's because of my own story. I passionately share this information because I know if people implement it, their lives will be better. And like what you're doing, Dawn, with the podcast and all these other things, when you impact one person, you impact a lot more than you think. So when you implement this for yourself, how many more people are going to be benefiting across the globe with your content, your information? So do it now, do it for your sanity. We never know what can happen in life. I think the pandemic has actually said to all of us, everything could go crazy at some point.
Absolutely.
You need to plan for that craziness.
Exactly. And I suppose, you know, the pandemic has definitely taught us you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, and seize the day, and if not now, when you're going to do it. So that's what I would say about that. I always ask all of my guests, because I'm a nurse, I'm very caring, obviously, about how they both, because, you know, you've got a very busy life. Now, I'm in your life and I know how busy you are. And that, you know, so you're, you know, I would say you're constantly spinning plates, you know, you're here, there and everywhere, but you're fitting it all in. So I want, if you could share with us, you know, how do you stay focused, positive and productive so that you can do all of these things?
Focused. I have a list. I have my goals and I can see them and I know what I need to achieve. So that's for me, the focus. The focus is there. Focus for me is also my mother. I would call her, "Mommy, what you need?" So I have a focus. The focus has to be on, okay, what can I do for my mother first? For me, focus is about what do I want to have happen when, and I'm super, super, super clear on all of those things. So that's the focus side to one side. Positive, I empower my mind every single day. That is non-negotiable. I read, I stay away from negativity. I don't watch negativity on social media. I don't watch negativity on TV. I don't watch anybody killing one another. I don't watch all of those things because I will just go in my subconscious. I don't get into any of that at all. I pray, I talk to God, I go to church, I get away from the craziness. I go for a walk. During the day, sometimes I just tell the staff, I'm in a meeting, and Andrea and I just go in the hills, go for a walk, just get away from the craziness. So that helps me to stay positive. It helps me to keep going mentally, to keep going. And productive is that I have a list for the list. You would believe, I have a list for the list.
For real.
Listen, I write everything down. I plan everything out. Everything has a date. Everything has a time. I've got a planner. It's on my shop. My goal setting planner for champions.
Yes.
I plan every single thing out in my calendar. Even doing my nails is in the calendar. Like everything is in the calendar. Everything is detailed. My whole week is structured. I get very agitated when things are out of line. So it's very structured for me. Outside of that structure, if it's not in the structure, it's not happening. Okay. So I live very, very structured, and that helps me to stay positive, productive, and very focused.
You heard it here first. So I've heard it before. So yeah, I sort of have some insight into that, and it's true. And then in addition to that, health and well-being is very important.
Yeah.
You know, and you know you know, I have a theory, which I've talked about before, and that, you know, you're a driven person, you're an A-type personality, clearly, you know, I know that I am as well. So, you know, one of the things I've learned since being a business owner is that you really have to keep an eye on your health and well-being.
Oh, yeah.
So, and one of the things I want to share with the audience is how do very successful entrepreneurs manage their own health and well-being?
You know, I tell you what, Dawn, I've learned the hard way. Let me tell you, I've learned the hard way. And again, it goes back to that structure. So I take time, like on a Wednesday, like I have structured time in the calendar. Wednesday morning, I have time to think. I don't want to talk to anybody. I tell my team I'm not available. It's in the calendar, they know it. I sort of plan out things on a Sunday, so I'm not rushing on a Monday. I take time off to have breakfast every day. I go downstairs, somebody said to me, you actually make your own breakfast? Yes, I do. Yeah. Because that's a time for my husband and I to sit down and talk, and I make my own breakfast. I try to cook as best as I can because that's healthier than getting stuff, buying in stuff. I try to not eat at night. I try to eat more during the day. Next to my desk, I always have water and I always have fruits all day long. So I keep hydrated all day. I get up and go for a walk. I get off the chair and I go for a walk. As long as the sun out, my team working, I crack on. So I think I have learned over the years to look after me a lot more. And when I'm not listening, my body tells me I'm in pain or something. So my body says, get up. And so I just get up and go. So for me, it's structure. I guess come back to that structure. It's come back to willfully understanding that a friend of mine said to me, without your body, you don't have any business. And I've had to really deal with that for myself the hard way and realize that I need to schedule time in for my health in my life. And that was hard for me, really, really hard for me. But now I just take off. Like I'm feeling tired, I'm gone. I'm canceling that meeting. I'm sorry, you ain't important than me. I'm going for a walk somewhere. Yeah. And I'm just gonna breathe. I want no phone. I want to see, I want to see bush. I want to see animals. I want to see no people.
Love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. It's true. And it's I was talking to somebody about gardening yesterday and sort of, feeling the earth, being out in nature. It's really, really important for your health and well-being. So I love that. Thank you for that. That's been amazing. Now, we've talked about the books which are available on the website, Camilita.com, and the shop section of that. You can get some free 3 chapters if you would like to sample a book or just buy the book. I would just buy the book. I've got the book, so that's why I'm telling you to buy them as well. How do people get hold of you if they want to, go on your, you do events, you do retreats, you do so much. Talk to us about that.
All you've got to do is go to Camilita.com. This is the website. Listen, I tell you, I was somewhere today and I was thinking, Jen was asking me, he said, oh, into the website, it's nice. Just go to Camilita.com. There, you can send me a message. You can find all my social media handles. You can take my assessment. You can fill out the form. You can download the free chapters of the ebook. There's so much there, and we've structured it well so that you could find things a lot quicker. Just go to Camilita.com. If you want the ebooks, Camilita.com/free resources. CamilitaShop.com. You can find all the paid ebooks. You want to know about coaching, it's there. You want to know about strategy sessions and business tips and you name it, it's all there. Just go to Camilita.com.
So that's really, really good. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, Camilita. I know you, so but I've learnt a lot as well. It's been a pleasure to share that with people. Do you have an actionable tip or takeaway so that our listeners can sort of really think about, the conversation we've had today and take some action?
I think this is my husband's tip. He's probably going to say I stole it from him. But okay. You're going to say, if he will say it, if it is to be, it's up to me.
Ooh.
If it is to be, it's up to you. Nobody's responsible for the present condition of your life, and nobody can change it. You alone can change it. There are only 2 things in life you can control: your attitude and your activity. So control it.
Fantastic. I love that. Control your attitude and your activity. Thanks so much, Camilita. As I said, it's been an absolute pleasure. That's it for the Dawn Jarvis show today. It's been a good one, hasn't it? So if you like it, share, subscribe, let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.